Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. This is the Bodega Cat Book Club Health Edition. And today we're going to continue our reading of Never Be Sick Again by Raymond Francis. And we are reading chapter 8 today, and this will be part 1. Okay. Oops, if I could get to it. All right, chapter 8. Boy, we're moving right along. I hope you guys are enjoying this reading so far. I know I am. So let's recap a little bit. Chapter 8 is about the physical pathway. So the author's theory is there is one disease, which is cellular malfunction, and it can be caused by two things, deficiency and toxicity. And there are 6 pathways that we can go about trying to fix that, which is nutrition, toxin, psychological, physical, genetic, and medical. And this chapter we're going to be reading about the physical part. All right, here we go. Just going to move the camera a little bit here, just a tad. If you have a book, you can follow us there. If not, you can follow us here on the camera. Whichever way is easy for you. I know some people are visual like me, so I like to read and listen at the same time. So anyways, whatever fits your fancy. Here we go. Many of the things we call biomarkers of aging might actually be biomarkers of inactivity. William Evans, PhD, the Human Nutrition Research Center on Aging. You've heard the advice before. If you want to stay healthy, if you want to stay physically fit and healthy, get plenty of exercise and sleep and stay away from drugs, tobacco, and alcohol. You may have heard it so often, in fact, that you no longer are paying attention. Also, because this advice is common, the kind of thing, quote, your mother told you. You may think that you know all that you really need to know. Think again, there is more to the story. Like they said, right? But wait, there's more. Without understanding how everyday choices affect your health at the cellular level, you may not recognize the risks to avoid nor the benefits you can reap. For example, missing too much sleep may create more than dark circles. It may cause brain damage. Breathing the right way may help you feel better and live longer. Exercising your eyes in simple ways may help you to avoid needing eyeglasses or to discard eyeglasses you already wear. Using hair dryers, electric razors, cell phones, and other electrical appliances may increase your risk for cancer, as does exposure to medical x-rays. Simple choices can make the difference. Turn on the dishwasher only when you plan to leave the kitchen. I hand wash my dishes here in this household. And medical x-rays, mammograms, they do it every year. I have never, ever, ever, ever done a mammogram. And I'm still alive. So there. Much of the disability in our elderly population attributed to aging actually is the result of decades of inactivity. A study reported in the October 1999 issue of Lancet found that after 1 week of only a few hours sleep per night, hormone levels change and the body even has trouble metabolizing carbohydrates. A study reported in the February 2001 issue of Occupational Medicine showed that factory workers chronically exposed to loud noise suffered calcium and magnesium losses. Medical x-rays may be the leading cause of cancer. Interesting. I wonder if I'm sure that includes breast cancer. Interesting, eh? If you do not support your body's needs for sleep and exercise and protect yourself from physical harm, everything from noise to microwaves to x-rays, you cannot be healthy. Also, you cannot be overweight and healthy. You cannot be exhausted and well. Terms like overweight and exhausted are definitions of ill health and, in the long term, invitations to disaster. Think of all the people you know, those who wear their age well and those who, quote, break down. Think of all the cars on the streets, beautifully maintained classic cars as well as rusty old clunkers. Now that's very interesting. They said that women live longer than men, so men will die first. And I wonder if it's from all the cars that they tinker around with, the motorcycles that they fix and things like that. Interesting, huh? If you want long-lasting health, you must maintain your body properly and, quote, drive it with care. Maintaining yourself on the physical pathway is not only about preventive maintenance, but also about protecting your body from the physical damage that results from physical events, such as accidents and sports injuries, the environment, noise, sunburn, electromagnetic radiation, and medical treatments, x-rays, drugs, surgeries. I was talking to someone the other day. He flies a lot for work, and he said there's a lot of exposure to radiation on the plane. That was pretty interesting. Given the lifestyles of many Americans who spend most of their days sitting or driving, who have hectic schedules and interrupted sleep, and whose days may be bombarded by unrecognized environmental assaults, the time has come to be serious about preventing wear and tear. The joy of movement. Throughout human evolution, our biological ancestors were very active, engaging in hours of vigorous physical activity every day. They walked or ran everywhere they went, and they needed to work hard physically to meet their basic needs. Because of this evolutionary history, human bodies require physical activity for good health. Historically, healthy populations such as the Hunzas and the Vilcabambas met those biological needs by default. They lived their entire lives in mountainous farming communities where they had vigorous exercise through regular daily activities. As you recall, older Hunza men, often well into their hundreds, worked in the fields and participated in strenuous folk dancing. Exercise is like an essential nutrient that without it, your body malfunctions. Unlike our hunter-gatherer ancestors, most of us now engage in little physical activity. There was a scene in a movie called World War Z by Brad Pitt, with Brad Pitt, not by Brad Pitt, with Brad Pitt. There's a scene in there where he says, life is movement. I always remember that. Life is movement. The Industrial Revolution radically changed human existence. Machines and technology perform work formerly done by hand. No longer do we hunt or farm. Our work is done sitting at a desk or standing behind a counter. And we meet our daily needs with a quick trip to the store. Even our recreation is sedentary. We read books, play video games, and watch movies and television. The average American watches 3 hours a day. We seldom walk or run. Instead, we use automobiles, trains, taxis, and buses. 60% of our adult population is sedentary, and 1 out of 4 people engages in absolutely no exercise whatsoever. I'm guilty. I sit around a lot. Lack of activity contributes to our epidemic of physical problems such as low back pain and spine problems, fatigue, arthritis, osteoporosis, obesity, and a host of chronic diseases. Almost everyone has the nagging sense that they should exercise, but few understand why exercise is so important. Exercise is good because, like anything else that is, quote, good for you, it promotes the health of cells. Exercise prevents both of the two causes of disease, deficiency and toxicity. By promoting efficient nutrient delivery to cells and stimulating the lymphatic system, the body's sewage system, vital for removing toxins from bodies. Exercise is great for body and mind. It slows the effects of aging, reduces pain, and helps to improve mood, clarity of mind, balance, coordination, and spatial awareness. Not to mention the confidence boost that comes from getting physical. The body has almost 700 different muscles. Without physical activity, these muscles quickly waste away and lose their strength. When certain muscles are weak, others will compensate to do the work, which can cause painful physical damage to the body with long-term wear and tear. What happens then? Canes, walkers, pain medications are the frequently prescribed treatments. I would say yoga would be my prescribed treatment. But the problem is inactivity. Gardening or farming or yoga, that would be my prescribed treatments. A study reported in the Journal of the American Medical Association in 1996 found that physically inactive people are up to twice as likely to die prematurely as those who are physically fit. Lack of exercise actually may be a greater health risk than smoking. People who exercise regularly and also smoke typically live longer and healthier lives than people who do not smoke and also do not exercise. It's pretty interesting because when you exercise, you expand the lungs and you expand your breathing, right? And if you smoke, that kind of makes sense. If you smoke and exercise, the expansion of the lungs and the breathing helps kind of diminish the detriments of the smoke. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that kind of I just thought of that. It just kind of gave me that was an aha moment for me. That was what I was going to say. Okay, consider what happens to bedridden people, bodies that do not move or exercise at all. Their cells become increasingly more deficient and toxic, wasting away daily. Unused muscles lose 10 to 15% of their strength per week and half their strength in just 3 to 5 weeks. Meanwhile, the bones and joints become weak, brittle, and susceptible to fracture or breakage. Exercise for your mind's sake. Exercise is important for mental function, helping to engage and clear the mind. Lack of exercise makes a person more susceptible to mental illness. Exercise is an excellent stress management technique. Older people who exercise are 3 to 5 times less likely to develop Alzheimer's disease than those who lead sedentary lives. Engage in some kind of physical activity every day. Letting days or weeks go by without any exercise has a negative impact on the health of your brain cells, as well as all your other cells. The known benefits of exercise include the following. Releases brain chemicals that alleviate feelings of anxiety, depression, and mental illness or mental stress. It enhances the immune system by increasing natural killer cell activity and improves the body's ability to fight infections. Slows the onset of aging effects such as slow nerve impulses and bone demineralization, including osteoporosis, reduces the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by about 25% and decreases insulin resistance, helps lower blood pressure. Regular exercise can lower blood pressure by 10 points or more, helps prevent cardiovascular disease by blocking the buildup of plaque in the arteries, dissolves blood clots and reduces the risk of stroke. Reduces cancer risk. Just 4 hours of exercise per week lowers a woman's risk of breast cancer by almost 60%. Tones and conditions the entire body and helps prevent obesity. Diet fads and facts. Dieting to lose weight is a recurring theme in American life. New diet plans are announced repeatedly. Weight-reducing products flood the market, often promoted by famous or ordinary people with, quote, remarkable stories. For lasting results in any weight loss program, however, exercise is essential. And in my opinion, diet or losing weight is easy, but maintaining the weight is hard. So really, when you think about it, it's a lifestyle change, number one. And number two, it's a what do you call it? A marathon. So it's an ongoing thing, right? Every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. Wax off, wax off, wax off, wax on, wax off, wax on. Like the Karate Kid, right? Oh, okay. Little squirrel there. Where am I? Okay, decreasing calories, dieting, as a weight loss method can actually cause the body to slow its metabolic rate to conserve energy. The body registers when you diet like that, the body registers as stress or yeah, or an attack on the system. That's what it thinks it's doing. That's what the body thinks it's happening, that the body is being attacked. So it will, yeah, it will conserve energy, right? By starving, one has less energy and burns less fat, and the unwanted pounds are likely to stay right where they are. Regular exercise changes how your body produces energy, like stoking a fire or heating up a furnace, increasing one's ability to burn stored fat and lose weight. America has a serious obesity epidemic that worsens yearly and begins at younger and younger ages. Consider our children who are spending more time with computers, television, and video games, and less time at physical play. From 1960 to 2000, obesity among U.S. children aged 6 to 10 years increased 54%. Parents, do not kid yourselves. Few children outgrow weight problems. 80% of obese children and adolescents become obese adults. These high obesity levels in children already are contributing to widespread diseases, including cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and cancer. These conditions frequently are associated with obesity and used to be rare in children. The only way to stop this cycle is to start with the kids. At least adults can understand that bodies are made of cells that must be maintained. And just a side note, just because adults understand it doesn't mean that they will take action and change. That's why I said, you hear the phrase knowledge is power. I'd say applied knowledge is power. Because if you have the knowledge, it does not mean that you're going to take that knowledge and change. You could not do anything with the knowledge, but it's the action that changes, right? The behavior. Um, okay, young children do not yet. Okay, let's try that paragraph again. The only way to stop this cycle is to start with the kids. At least adults can understand that bodies are made of cells that must be maintained. Young children do not, yet they suffer the repercussions. Adults need to instruct children. We only hurt them when we allow them to develop sedentary and unhealthy lifestyles. When we allow them to sit in front of electronic screens as a way of life, rarely exercising or seeing the light of day. Gain without the pain. In general, everybody needs some kind of physical movement every day. Establishing and adhering to a routine may be difficult. Realistically, how do you fit a workout into an already busy life? By doing what you like to do. If you do not like a particular type of exercise and you do it more for the quote medicine than for the enjoyment, you are far less likely to continue it. Like going to the gym. I don't think I've ever had a gym membership. It's just so repetitive. It's just very boring. Even just watching people get on the treadmill or the bicycle or things like that. Just watching them is boring. Anyways, a side note there. Experiment until you discover the activity or routine that is right for you, one that genuinely engages you. A vigorous and challenging exercise routine is ideal, but most importantly, establish a routine that you can practice consistently. And I would add that even consistently can be boring. So you want to, what's that phrase called? You want to mash it up, mix it up a little bit, do something a little different here and there. Keep the what's the word I want? Keep the spark, if you will, right? Keep the freshness, I guess you could say. Yeah. Occasional erratic workouts provide little benefit. Furthermore, intense physical activity with an out-of-shape body increases risk of injury. If you do not exercise every day, absolutely avoid long periods of time, a week or more of being sedentary. Living a sedentary lifestyle is the same as inviting disease and injury into your body. Establishing a healthy exercise routine requires evaluating your body's comfort level and limits. Exercises should be challenging but not painful. Pain is a warning. Mild discomfort is normal, but once the body is warmed up, pain should go away. If not, perhaps the exercise is too intense, or perhaps more thorough stretching and warm up are needed. How much exercise do we need? I think it depends on the person. In 1995, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the American College of Sports Medicine surveyed existing evidence. Both organizations recommend that every American get a minimum of 30 minutes of physical activity every day. Within reason, the more intense the exercise, the greater the health benefits. I don't know about that sentence, but anyways. For example, men burning 2,000 to 3,000 calories per week in their exercise program are 46% less likely to experience a stroke than men who burn less than 1,000. An exercise plan that really works. 3 basic parts of a healthy exercise routine for everyone should include aerobic exercise. It gets the body warmed up, the heart pumping, and the blood circulating. Aerobics include jogging, speed walking, bicycling, and fitness exercises or fitness classes. Aerobic exercise burns fat and calories, maintains fitness in the heart and lungs, helps circulate the lymph, thus getting rid of toxins, and helps increase the oxygen supply to bodily tissues. Cancer thrives in low oxygen, unexercised tissues because it helps prevent both cancer and heart disease, the two biggest killers in America. Aerobic exercise is probably the most important type of exercise. Weight-bearing exercise. Once the body is warmed up and you've taken time to stretch out and drink fluid, weight or resistance training, weightlifting or yoga, for instance, it's useful to increase muscle strength and endurance, as well as to promote healthy bones, joints, and connective tissues. Such exercise is important in preventing osteoporosis and arthritis. Because of the added forces involved in weight-bearing exercise, use of proper technique is essential. Poor technique, along with excessive weight or repetition, can cause physical damage. Smooth, controlled movements are necessary, as is steady breathing, which helps with strength and control. The basic weightlifting guideline: 3 sets of weightlifting exercises per muscle group. Resting briefly between sets and lifting 10 to 20 times per set. Be careful not to, quote, jerk or force exercises, especially if you are tired. Otherwise, you benefit little and are at greater risk for injury. Stretching and flexibility. Before, during, and particularly after exercise, stretching is important. Rigid, tight tissues tend to be more susceptible to injury. And such tightness also interferes with smooth and efficient joint movements. For these reasons, stretching can help make other aspects of a workout easier and more comfortable. If part of your exercise routine seems unusually challenging or painful, try a brief stretch, which may help you to move with more freedom and comfort. Stretching, again, using steady movements and controlled breathing, makes tissue stronger, healthier, and more mobile. This critical aspect of every workout should not be rushed or overlooked. Determine the specifics of your exercise plan by tailoring it to your own body and do what you enjoy. Even if you get no other exercise, at least go for a walk each day. Going for a walk or hike can be very pleasurable, and it is good for you. Walking can even provide a good aerobic workout just by walking faster. The average person strolls along at about 3 miles per hour. Increasing your walking speed to a brisk stride, about 4 miles per hour, does a good job working your heart and lungs. Better still, speed walking about 5 miles per hour warms up the body, exercises major muscle groups, and actually burns more calories than slow run of the same speed. For a complete body workout, consider yoga. Certain types of yoga combine aerobic, weight bearing, and stretching exercises into one complete workout. Many excellent books on yoga are available, and there may be instructional classes available in your local area. Remember that exercise is supposed to make the body feel better, not worse. The goal is to promote the health of your cells, not to place undue stress on your body. The intensity of all types of exercise must be moderated. In warm-up aerobics, an extended workout of moderate intensity is preferable to a brief heart-pounding, sweat-pouring one. Just as a frying pan needs to be warm to cook food, your body needs to be warm for good performance. Warm enough to do the job without, quote, burning. During weight-bearing exercise, build strength and endurance without excessive resistance or repetition. By holding a weight-bearing pose until the muscles begin to fatigue, then perform the weightlifting repetitions. Holding prior to repetitions maximizes strength and endurance while minimizing wear and tear. Your exercise routine should be challenging, but reasonable for individual limits. Avoid approaches such as, I had better make this a good workout since I haven't been exercising lately. Or another thought would be, oh, I didn't do it yesterday. Let me double it up on today. That's another myth or another flaw, I think, in the thinking. Or the more strenuously I exercise, the better it will be. During your workout, moderate your intensity by keeping in mind how you will feel afterward. You want to feel like you accomplished a good workout but did not beat yourself up. Consistency rather than extreme intensity produces the benefits of exercise. Challenge yourself, but be realistic. Even for people who hate exercise or think they don't have time to exercise, a simple solution which I use is rebounding. Bouncing up and down on a mini trampoline has almost magical effects. The activity is simple, surprisingly easy to do, a lot of fun, safe, and can be done by almost anyone, regardless of age or physical condition. Rebounding sounds like a panacea, which is what it is. Rebounding tones, conditions, strengthens, and heals the entire body in as little as 15 minutes per day. Wow, 15 minutes, that's a long time. Rebounding is so good for you because it exercises and moves every cell in your entire body. We have always known that exercise is good for health, but have never understood why until now. Research presented in 2000 at the annual meeting of the American Thoracic Society found, oh, sorry, got a little distracted there. At first I thought that was like an insect or something. Oh, sorry about that. Um, Oh boy, I lost my place. I got distracted. You see, I get distracted very easily. Okay, research presented in 2000 at the annual meeting at the American Thoracic Society found that physically stretching cells has a profound impact on their biochemistry and behavior. Moving and stretching a cell, as rebounding does, helps to supply essential nutrients and to eliminate toxic waste products. When you bounce on a rebounder, your entire body, internal organs, bones, connective tissue, and skin become stronger, more flexible, and healthier. Both blood circulation and lymphatic drainage are vastly improved. James White, MD of the University of California, San Diego, says that rebounding exercise is, quote, the closest thing to the fountain of youth that science has discovered. Visualize a balloon filled with water. Hold the balloon by its stem and observe how gravity pulls on the water, slightly stretching the balloon. Now move your hand rapidly up and down and observe how the extra gravitational force causes the balloon to stretch and distort. When you bounce up and down on a rebounder, this effect happens to every cell in your body. Oh, wait, let me read that again. Visualize a balloon filled with water. Hold the balloon by its stem and observe how gravity pulls. Oh, okay. So the balloon bounces up and down, or floats up to the top of the water. I think that's what they're saying. Move your hand rapidly up and down. Observe how the extra gravitational force. Oh, I don't know. I'm a little confused about that. I think I need to see a visual on that one. Okay. When you bounce up and down on a rebounder, this effect happens to every cell in your body. Rebounding alternately puts pressure on and takes pressure off body cells, like squeezing a sponge. This moving and stretching of cells facilitates nutrient delivery and toxin removal, which is exactly what you need to be healthy without having to go to the gym, work up a sweat, or end up with sore muscles and possible injuries. Rebounding is so efficient because it applies weight and movement to every cell. The extra force of gravity caused by the bouncing strengthens bones and joints, yet without the jarring and potential damage of most impact activities. For more information on what I selected for my own use, see Appendix C. Another physical technique is skin brushing. Simply take a natural bristle bath brush and move it along your skin, up the arms and legs and toward the chest. Doing this activity for a few minutes before taking a bath or shower helps circulate lymphatic fluid and is especially important for people who do not get enough regular exercise. Good physical fitness is much more than a fashion statement and much more than a way to burn calories and sculpt muscles. Just a note on lymphatic circulation, that's very important because the lymph nodes help with your immune system and helps fight off any kind of sickness or illness or anything like that. So something I do is lymphatic. There's a lymphatic blend, essential oil. It's a blend that I use, and I use it for salt baths. So it's from a company called Plant Prana Oils. They do medical aromatherapy. So their essential oils are medical grade, medical, top notch. They're top notch. Anyways, I'll leave a link down in the description below if you want to interested in salt baths. You could do the lymphatic blend salt bath. That would help clear and circulate and clean out some of your lymph nodes, lymphatic system. And I don't get any commission from the sale. I just like they have classes and they have essential oils that they sell, and they're all geared towards medical aromatherapy. So, and I interviewed the CEO, founder and CEO. I'll leave a link with that below also. Link to that podcast and you can listen to it. Anyways, just a little side note there. Let me do that paragraph again. Good physical fitness is much more than a fashion statement and much more than a way to burn calories and sculpt muscles. Exercise is a fundamental physical need and you need it every day. What if your job requires sitting at a desk? Sitting for extended periods causes physical health to deteriorate. When sitting for extended periods, take time to stand up and stretch the body, along with relaxing your eyes. Yeah, that's a little hard to do when you have a cat on your lap. You really don't. Yeah, you don't want to move if you have a cat on your lap, and they can sit on your lap for hours and hours at a time. Even standing up for a minute or two each hour can make a big difference. Remember, your body is a living, breathing, moving organism. When you sit motionless for hours on end, metaphorically speaking, you begin to die. Okay, we'll stop here for now. And I hope you enjoyed that. And we will continue our reading next week of Never Be Sick Again. In the meantime, I hope you guys all have a great day. Okay, bye-bye now.